welcome back to Nighttime. My name is Andrew Grieg, alongside my co-host Joe Geiger. And from 68 teams down to 2, it's the national championship. UConn, Michigan, a legacy-defining day in the world of college basketball.
It's going to be a great game. I can't wait. But first, let's take a look at how these two teams got here with a quick Final Four recap. First semifinal of the night is 3-seed Illinois, 2-seed UConn. First half, UConn starting strong. Carabine pumps and dishes it to Reed, who goes up for a big two-handed slam. Illinois would settle and take the lead on a broken play here as Ivashik drills a deep three. Final minute of the first half, and Braylon Mullins says the bank is open. Huskies led by 8 at the half. Illinois fighting back to Sana as Mirkovic lines up and drills a deep three, but UConn gets going in transition as Solo Ball catches and puts home a three on the other end. The Huskies growing the lead with under 10 to play as Jalen Stewart gets open and hits it. But Illinois would not go away. A 10-0 run, and this second chance bucket from them gets them back to 4 with just 5 to play. But again, UConn answers with a strong finish as Solo Ball gets the outlet pass, and he goes up high and slams it hard. And then in the final minute, it's Braylon Mullins, the hero versus Duke, does it again with a dagger three to send the UConn Huskies back to the national championship game for the third time in 4 seasons.
What a game. Wolverines, Wildcats first spot in the national championship, and Elliot Cadeau turning defense to offense, getting it up ahead to Morez Johnson, who puts it in for the lay and won, Michigan up 9-1 early. Arizona looking to respond to an early Wolverines push, and it's Krivos to Karchenkov to pull within 9. Burnett on the opposite end looking to drive baseline, sees 3 defenders, and gets it over to Roddy Gale, who slams it home over Krivos. Things starting to get out of hand in the second half, and it'd be Mara to Cadeau, back to Mara for the oop. The big man would finish with 26 in this one. Hurt knee, hurt ankle, but it's no problem for Lindenborg, who drains the 3 to put the Wolverines up 21 early in the second half. Arizona down 22, looking for anything to be their star freshman, Koa Pete, getting this one to go and 1. And from freshman to freshman, Braden Burry's on the break, and the bucket counts, bringing this one down to 17. But there'd be no stopping Michigan's big man, who's feasting on Arizona all game, looking like Shaq on this rim run. And Cadeau gets the rebound on this one, finishes the job. Michigan cruises to a 91-73 Final Four victory.
And we're back here. UConn, let's go back to that first game. UConn beating Illinois 71-62. UConn pretty much led that entire way. Illinois kind of fought their way back from time to time, but the shot making for UConn down the stretch was just too good, and they decided to move along from that.
Yeah, for sure. It was the end of the first half. It really propelled UConn to leading the game for the rest of the game. And then, like you said, Illinois tried coming back in the second half, but it was too little, too late. And UConn, the shot-making ability from guys like Carabin, just the rest of the team, was too big for UConn, and they would be able to get it done. And it's kind of crazy that this was the game that everybody had to look forward to because of the fact that the other game wasn't so good. It was really the first game out of the 2 that was the better game.
Yeah, and let's bring in our guests, Mason Best and Jack Kelly. What did you guys see in this UConn-Illinois game?
Though it's no longer the greatest month of sports, the legacy does get to live on for one more game. And whatever Dan Hurley and his superstitions are cooking up in UConn right now, it's working, and we're hoping that it can last one more game into the national championship and see what UConn can pull off. But that Illinois game was absolutely electric.
For sure. Yeah, definitely bittersweet times. College basketball might be the best time of the year. Just saying, putting that out there. But great game at UConn. They've definitely been the grittiest team in this tourney, in my opinion. A lot of close calls, but they've stayed in every game. It's gotten to this point. Definitely in this game, bit of a quieter presence from Carabin. I wouldn't be worried if you're a UConn fan, however, about that. You got Solo Ball, and of course, shout out Braylon Mullins. He's been in the clutch every single game.
Yeah, I mentioned Carabin's main name, but Terrace Reed also needs a shout here as the leading scorer for that team, and he really got it done for the UConn Huskies down the stretch. Any other thoughts on this game?
Yeah, 17 points, 11 rebounds for him. He kind of outmuscled Illinois down low in that game to sort of grow that lead to what it got to be, and then they held on at the end. And as he said, they've kind of had close calls throughout this entire tournament. They struggled with Furman in that first round, but ended up pulling away in all these games. But let's get to that second game, the one that we were all super excited for last show. Michigan and Arizona, the 2 most dominant teams in this tournament, but one dominated the other in this one. Michigan 91, Arizona 73. Yeah. What happened?
I mean, Michigan just came out from the jump and absolutely smacked Arizona in the mouth, and there was just no response from the Wildcats. It just felt like every single time that Arizona would try to do some semblance of anything, Michigan would just go on another stretch of a run. And from Elliot Cadeau to Adai Mara, it just felt like the Wolverines overpowered the Wildcats all game. And really in that second half, at least the start of it, they had the lead balloon all the way up to 30 points, and there was going to be no chance that they were ever going to come back from that lead.
Yeah, they had 5 guys in double figures again. It's their 5th straight game with 90 points. Mason and Jack, what you have? Why did Michigan dominate this game so much?
The Wolverines all tournament have dominated the paint. They've destroyed every team they've played in the rebound category. Anything in the paint, they've dominated. And like their coach said after the game, they refuse to take their foot off the gas. Throwing a little shade at Duke, they chose to put Yaxel Lendenberg back into the game, even up 18 points, because they didn't want to take the chance of blowing the game like Duke did.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what Coach May's doing with this team has been nothing short of amazing. Joe just said it, 90-plus points in 5 straight games of the postseason. That is very impressive, backed by a really stellar performance by Mara. They just look like the hottest team right now.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned at the end there, Dusty May has been one of the best coaches we've seen, and this turnaround is absolutely insane. From a Michigan team that won 8 games just 3 seasons ago to a team that won their conference tournament, last year, and then is able to make it all the way to the Final Four in the national championship game this season. That turnaround for Michigan from a historically great program, but seemingly lacking over the last maybe decade, and then being able to get them back to the national championship stage and obviously we've seen this with him before, Dusty May, and him advancing the FAU Owls all the way to the Final Four just a few years back and 1 shot away from being in the national championship. And any final thoughts on Dusty May?
Yeah, just truly dominant. I mean, Lendenberg got injured in this game. He didn't play as much as he normally would, but he still put up 11 points. Just shows how good the depth of this Michigan Wolverines team this year, and that's part of why they've been able to dominate so well this month. And we'll see what happens in the national championship. But let's transition into that national championship. It's finally set. 2-seeded UConn versus 1-seeded Michigan. We've said it before. UConn, 3rd national championship appearance in 4 seasons. They won 2 back-to-back in 23 and 24. And then Michigan, this is their 7th all-time appearance. They're only 1-6 in the national championship. It's their first natty appearance since 2018. What do we think?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to have to side with the team that I picked last week, and I'm going to go back with UConn winning 3 out of the last 4 national championships, and I just think that the coaching experience there's a little bit of a deficit. Obviously, Dusty May has coached in the Final Four before, but not in the national championship stage, and I just think that Michigan gets it done, or that UConn gets it done in this one. I believe in what Dan Hurley has cooking down there, and I just think that they have a lot of pieces, but I want to throw it over to our guests. What do you guys have on this game?
Yeah, I think we're in for an absolute thriller of a game here. UConn's defense has been great all tournament, and Michigan is dominant in the paint, like I've said. Michigan honestly looks like the team that we saw in the first 10 games of the season where we were questioning if they could go undefeated, and they looked unstoppable. I think the stopping point for them could be UConn, led by Dan Hurley. That team's just playing out of its mind right now. In order for UConn to win, I think they're going to have to shoot very, very well from the three-point line and outside of the paint, because Michigan's just going to dominate there. But if they can do that and get off to a hot start, I think they have all the makings to win this game and win their 3rd title in 4 years.
Yep.
For sure. I think Michigan has this one in the bag. I have a lot of respect for UConn and what they've gotten done in these 4 years. I mean, hey, 3 natties in 4 years, that'd be insane to say. However, Michigan, they are just that team. They are extremely hot right now. It is really on UConn to find a way to slow them down. They have a great defense. They can rely on that. It's really up to some solid play from Carabin and Ball. I would expect that. We'd have a great close game. Maybe even we get one more clutch Mullins moment, for the road.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there could be some clutch moments ahead, especially given how tight these 2 teams possibly could be. These are 2 of the best teams in all of college basketball. Joe, any final thoughts on the game?
I'm excited to see how this game works out, because you got all 5 guys on both teams who can score that are starters. You got guys off the bench who can score. It's going to be a big battle in the paint. You got 2 great big men, and the depth on both of these teams is very well. The coaching on both these teams is absolutely fantastic. They've both gotten here in different ways. Obviously, Michigan has dominated, so they haven't really been tested, but UConn, they've been tested, so we'll see what happens, and it's going to be a great game. Let's take a look. The Women's National Championship, shout out to UCLA. They dominated South Carolina in the Women's National Championship yesterday, 79-51. Auburn won the NIT, and West Virginia won the crown, but one more championship will be crowned tonight at 8:49. Michigan or UConn, who will it be?
It's that time of year again, and another NASCAR Cup Series season means another edition of the Daytona 500. Once again, fans flooded the Daytona International Speedway last weekend to cheer on their favorite drivers. And their not-so-favorite drivers, too. And as always, our HGF Bets crew was fired up to make their picks.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
But let's take a look at how those predictions played out. Augie took a look at the reigning Daytona 500 champ and thought, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I'd choose another outright race winner in the number 24 car, William Byron.
Coming off of 2 straight wins in the 500, Byron had a shot at being the first driver ever to make it 3 in a row.
Look, he's going to be the first person to make history.
But unfortunately for Augie, the 24 car had a quiet race, crossing the finish line in 12th place with 0 laps led. Scott, on the other hand, had his sights set on none other than
Ross Chastain,
hoping he would finish top 3. The Melon Man raced a promising drive, trading the number 1 spot throughout the 500 miles and leading a total of 12 laps. But to Scott's disappointment, he finished far from the top 3 as the 20th driver to take the checkered flag, meaning that the desk was now 0 for 2. But luckily, Ben decided to put his money on an absolute veteran.
For my pick, like I said, Battle of the Bush, I got Kyle Busch to finish top 3.
Another driver hungry for his first Daytona 500 win, Kyle Busch rocketed his car to pole position in qualifying, starting the big race in first. The number 8 car was clearly on a mission, racing at the front of the pack and leading 19 laps on the night. But even after finishing the second stage in 4th, Busch could only manage a 15th place finish in the end. So who should the boys have placed their bets on? How about the man who led only 1 lap the entire race? That's right, Tyler Reddick's number 45 car started the final lap in 4th place and steered past the chaos to cross the finish line in 1st. Reddick's heroic last lap pass was followed up with some well-deserved burnouts as the 2311 racing team celebrated their first win in the Great American Race. Take a bow, Tyler Reddick. You are now a Daytona 500 champion.
And welcome back. We're moving from basketball to baseball. We have to talk about the UCF Knights because they are currently ranked number 12 in the D1 baseball poll, and it's exciting times around campus.
for sure. And number 1 in the Big 12,
For
20-9, 10-2 in the Big 12. They're 4 for 4 in conference series with 2 sweeps, and they just recently took 2 out of 3 over number 11 West Virginia in Morgantown.
And with that being said, we'd like to welcome on our guests, Scalise and Anya Garibashvily. How are you guys doing, and how excited are you that UCF baseball is officially back?
Oh, I'm doing great, and I honestly love, I just recently became a fan, but I just love everything about UCF baseball.
Similar to Nick, baseball hasn't been something I followed for a while, but after working a couple games and seeing UCF baseball play, it's been really amazing to watch them. I'm excited to talk about them.
Yeah, this is the best time to be a Knights fan because of the fact that they are doing so well.
They're rolling.
Like you mentioned, they're 20-9 overall and 10-2 in conference play. Not only are they the top-ranked team in the standings, but they are across every single poll after going to West Virginia and winning 2 out of 3 in Morgantown. But I want to start with this question for you guys at the over there. What has clicked for UCF in Big 12 play so far?
So far in Big 12 play, the one thing that's clicked in my eyes has been the starting pitching and also like the substitutions that have come in. We did the second straight week without Matt Saucer. Braden Smith left the first game with injury. Max Murray and Mateo Gray have both stepped up and it helped this UCF pitching crew really become dominant. We currently lead in Big 12 play with ERA and batting average against. So we're really dominant when it comes to pitching.
Yeah, and then as far as some other things that I wanted to point out was just the momentum that we've had this season. After looking at a couple sources, it looks like this has been the best season we've had since pre-COVID. So in COVID and post-pandemic era of sports, this has been the best that we've played. And I really think it has come down to the fact that we've been ranked consistently, especially recently, and also with the momentum of beating Arizona, who are the Big 12 champions from last season. I know head coach Rich Wallace said that he said to the guys that we don't do all this stuff and go through with the things they've done to be 8-1 in the end of March. There's an end goal, and they're still chasing it, and that they're still trying to prove stuff and see how good they can really be on the field. And I think that's just, we can see it with how they've been playing recently in the second half of the season.
Yeah, and another thing that's really clicked for UCF has been their bats. Earlier in the season, they were kind of struggling finding their footing, a new lineup. But since Big 12 play, they're averaging 8 runs a game. They got 5 guys hitting over 300, 2 guys with 300 batting averages and 1,000 OPS as well. Those guys are Andrew Williamson and John Smith III. I know we have a super fan of John Smith on the show today. Talk about John Smith, Nick.
Yeah, so if you've been to any UCF baseball game this season, you will see me in my custom-made John Smith jersey. Has 4 signatures, by the way. But yeah, he has just been absolutely lighting it up this year. Well, he started the season a little slow, but since Big 12 play has started, he's been doing amazing. He currently leads the team in batting average with 393 and on-base percentage at 471. And like I said, in Big 12 play, he's really come alive. He's currently 8th in the Big 12 with runs and 4th with RBIs, which is a major part in the why our success, we have such early success this season.
Yeah, and Anya, I want to pitch it back to you. What are your thoughts on the same thing?
I mean, it's been insane to see the team play as a whole, but I think really having these key individual players, especially in all aspects of baseball, from batting to pitching to fielding, and I really quickly wanted to point out Camden Wicker, who has a whip of .87, which is way below the kind of above average of 1. He's got 32 strikeouts this season, and his ERA is 2.52, which is just an incredible score. So the fact that we have good pitchers, not just 1 or 2, but it seems like at least 3 or 4, has really helped us keep up with this winning streak.
Yeah, and I want to keep the kind of sentiment on the fact that the pitching has been so good. As both Anya and Nick mentioned, the fact that our pitchers have been able to go multiple innings and keep such low ERAs, especially in college baseball that is rather higher scoring. Max Murray and Matt Saucer lead the team in ERA. Matt Saucer with .64 ERA as a starter, which is absolutely absurd. He's actually number 3 in the country. Though he's missed the last couple of games, he's been absolutely dominant in his starts, as well as Max Murray being one of the best relievers we've had on the team. Kevin Schoneboom's come in and given some good innings, and like you just mentioned, Anya, Camden Wicker came from a start. He was a starter last year, but has made a significant jump into this season and has been one of the best pitchers for UCF this season.
Yeah, you need all 3 aspects of baseball to have a good team. And right now, UCF, they've been clicking, pitching, defense, and offense, and it's very exciting to see. But how do we feel about the rest of the season? Is this Knights team legit? Can they contend in the Big 12 and in the NCAA tournament? They got upcoming series against Kansas, Cincinnati, Utah, Arizona State, Baylor, and Kansas State in the Big 12.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's no reason why they can't, right? Because the fact that they are the top-ranked team in the Big 12 now, they are the team that leads them the whole Big 12 in standings. They're 10-2 in conference play, as we've mentioned a couple of times now, and they're doing it in all facets, right? They've been able to win low-scoring games. They've been able to win games that have been shootouts. We've seen an Oklahoma State game where they won 12-11. We've also seen an Arizona game where they won 3-2 after 13 innings. So the fact that they're able to get it done with either pitching or hitting, it doesn't matter what day it is. They can just get it done in general. And like you mentioned, all 3 facets of the game are really clicking for the Knights. Want to get you guys' thoughts as well. Do you think that it's sustainable throughout the rest of the season? We'll start with Nick.
Yeah, I believe this is sustainable. Honestly, I have the floor right now for UCF as a regional in the playoffs. I think we can easily make the playoffs, especially with the resume that we already have. It honestly all just depends on the Arizona State series. If we go out there and we beat them, then I'd say we're a definite lock for the NCAA tournament.
I'm feeling pretty hopeful as well. I don't know super great statistics or specifics, but just seeing how well the team has been working in all 3 aspects, I'm really hopeful that, like Nick said, we'll make it to regionals and even super regionals. And you know what? I'm going to be hopeful here. I'm going to say we're going to make it to the NCAA tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Hey, I mean,
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, early calls from us, but I think that you guys are spot on with that. I think making a regional at this point is what Knights fans would like to see, and it's probably what Knights fans would expect the floor to be at this point. Yeah. An Orlando regional would be amazing for any Knights fan, given the fact that it'd be the first time in school history Orlando would be hosting a regional. But at this point, leading the Big 12 and just being able to have so many good games early and being able to take on the top of the Big 12 in West Virginia on the road and being able to get a series win, I feel like that does a lot for the confidence of this team.
Yeah, and he said that Arizona State series, as of now, that's the only currently ranked team they have left on the schedule. Yeah. So the rest of the year is very winnable. They just got to continue to do what they're doing, and how electric would a regional playoff series be here? Yeah,
the only thing is that this next weekend they go into Kansas, who is currently the number 2 team in the Big 12, and it's going to be a tough series. It's unfortunate that the first two series against the best teams in the Big 12 are both on the road, but after that we do see Arizona State at home, so that could be a good thing for the Knights. And at home, the Knights are undefeated in conference play. So 6-0, their first 2 ever series sweeps in Big 12 conference play. Any final thoughts from the couch over there?
I'm excited to see the rest of the season. I hope we keep on winning.
Yeah, let's go. As our motto says, go Knights, charge on.
Yeah.
Go Knights, charge on.
I completely agree. And with that being said, we're going to be looking into some football jerseys right after this.
The quick interruption. We'll be right back for your show. For now, let me give you a quick rundown of what the Hitting the Field Network has planned for you. My name is Edgar Rodriguez, and I'm the host of Hitting the Field Season 22, live streaming every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. There, you'll find me and our expert guests talking about everything in the wide world of sports. On Tuesday, get ready because it's season 10 of Nighttime. Hosted by Andrew, Grieg, and Joe Geiger, Nighttime keeps you up to date on everything happening in the world of college sports and UCF athletics. Moving on to Wednesday, we have season 8 of The Combine, hosted by our very own Kathleen Moore. This podcast takes a deep and technical dive into everything NFL, and you won't want to miss that. On Thursday, we go live with Bets, where our Bets boys, Ben Huber, Augie Aronson, and Scott Harris, will give their expert opinion that might just make you some money. On Friday, season 4 of Girls Got Game takes over with only the hottest topics in women's sports, hosted by none other than Katie Sue Christensen and Mia Flores. And to round out the week, season 3 of HGFC comes on Saturday, hosted by Octavius Lawrence and Santiago Molina. Soccer never stops, and HGFC will be your stop for everything in the world of football. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, where you can find non-stop additional content, as well as stay updated on all HTFN news. Lastly, leave a like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the Hitting the Field Network on YouTube. That's all I got. I'm Edgar Rodriguez signing off. Enjoy the rest of your show.
We're back, and we're going to do a little uni talk. College football uniforms of the year. 16 uniforms were named Uniswag uniforms of the year, and we're going to go around and pick our favorites. We're going to start with our guest, Blake Bogue and Kathleen Moore. Welcome into Nighttime. Are you excited to talk some college football uniforms?
Very excited for me. These jerseys were all very hard to choose from, and I had a great time looking through them all, and I'm really excited to talk some unis here on Nighttime.
Yeah, super excited. Really tough choices here, but I'm pretty happy with my selections.
All right, well, I think, Blake, we should start with you because you picked UCF's Hyperspace jersey, this year's Space Game jersey, as one of yours, so dive into that one for us.
I did, and I'm very excited that the first person to pick that was me, because that was probably my favorite jersey the entire season, and it is just such a nice jersey that we get to have. And for each year for the Space Game, it's been amazing. We've had consistently great jerseys for the Space Game. But this year's, I thought, was something truly special with just the style that they went with the way the colors mesh here, the black and the light blue. I thought that they were great. They looked great in person at the game, which I did have the privilege to attend. It stinks that we couldn't win that game. That was probably one of the most heartbreaking games of the entire season. But despite that, I love these jerseys. I love the style, and I hope that we can continue to make some good Space Game jerseys.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like the Space Game uniforms. What do you think? Is this one of our better Space Game uniforms? Where does this one rank in Space Game jersey history for us here
I
at
think
UCF?
it's got to be the lowest, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah, I love the hyperspace theory and whatever, but I also don't like the fact that we didn't win the game, and I think that's what matters the most.
Yeah.
You can't go into a game that you lose and then proclaim
that was the first time we've lost.
The only time we've ever lost the Space Game is in those uniforms, so unfortunately that takes a hit for them in my book.
All right, let's go back to Kathleen. Me and you had the same one, so why don't you kick us off with Tulane City Edition uniform?
Oh, absolutely, Joe. These Tulane City Edition uniforms were so clean. I really loved the font that they used, and I think the entire jersey just pays homage to New Orleans and Louisiana kind of in general, but the powder blue, it's always going to hit for me. I love a good powder blue jersey, but then I really love the designs on the sleeves, up by the shoulders, really nice. And again, the font is just, it's very New Orleans. It's very Bourbon Street. It's fun. It's Mardi Gras. I'm here for it. I love it. It looked really nice on the field too. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was the iconic street tile text spelling of Tulane. That's the font that they were going with there. And yeah, she said it best. You can't go wrong with a nice baby blue uniform.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wearing a baby blue shirt, so I have to kind of agree with you on that point. I personally think those uniforms look really cool. I think Tulane is just a good uniform school. I feel like every single uniform that they trot out is something special. So I'm glad that they got it included in this Uniswag. What are we calling it?
Unitalk, Uniswag, whatever we want.
Yeah, but the actual the listing of it.
Uniswag uniforms of the year.
Oh, nice. There you
go.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad that they made the list.
Yeah, those were beautiful. which one that you saw that caught your eye?
Yeah, I mean, I want to start with a school that's kind of known for their uniforms in Oregon, right? It feels like they have more uniforms than wins some years, but this year they had a lot of wins, and it went along with their Oregon marble uniforms, which I personally really enjoyed. I think that Oregon kind of always does it right, the fact that they're located right with Nike. They have a ton of jerseys that always come out, and this year, just everything about these uniforms, I think, looked really good. So that's just my personal opinion. It's Oregon, anything kind of just looks good in my opinion, and these marble uniforms specifically where it caught my eye.
Yeah, the marble helmets are super cool, but I'm going to be honest, the actual jersey for Oregon is pretty mid. I feel like they were trying to copy some UCF. That looks pretty black and gold to me, maybe the old anthracite that UCF used to have.
Yeah, I mean, well, I like black and gold as well. So if you can throw in, if you can mix Oregon and UCF and just put them into one uniform, it's right there, and I personally really like it. So,
what do you guys think? You like these ones from Oregon?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah. So for me, they do essentially like kind of the jerseys themselves don't look that good, but I do like the helmet and the style on there. But I do agree with the point made that the actual jerseys, I think they're kind of overrated.
I tend to agree. The gray, I don't know. It didn't feel very Oregon to me, but I do think that the helmets are cool. I'd love to see more teams do interesting things with their helmets in the future.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I like them personally.
What a horrible take, apparently.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is worst uniforms on the block. They shouldn't have made the Uniswag.
I just feel like Oregon has much better choices.
They do.
Could have been.
They do, but like this was the option that I was like interested in.
It just really seemed like they wanted to be us there.
Okay, well, we'll move on to your uniform. What
yeah, so I got the Virginia Tech Hokie Stone uniforms, and these things are another gray jersey, and they got that Hokie Stone pattern that can be embedded into the jersey. That's the brick that's all around campus and in Lane Stadium over at Virginia Tech, and they pair it with a very nice white helmet, white pants, and they got the Hokie Stone on the helmet in the logo and in the stripe. I think it's a unique look, but it's not too crazy. Like when I see this, I kind of reminds me of those gator skin uniforms that they brought out, but like way better.
Yeah, I feel like those got clowned a little bit now.
Yeah, but these are like those. Like that's how you're supposed to do it.
Let's get thoughts from the couch over there. What do you guys think about this one?
Unfortunately, these are a lot to look at for me. Like it's too busy. My eyes don't really know what they're looking at. It was just a little much. Sorry, Joe. I know we agreed on Tulane City Edition, but this is a no for me.
Yeah, same for me. It's just like a very diverse mix that is kind of hard for me to look at. I agree with those points you made.
Sounds like we're 0 for 2 at the desk, but you guys had some good picks the first time around, so I want to hear from you guys once again. What do you guys think the last two jerseys were worth pointing out were?
Yeah, so my second one is the Vice jerseys for Florida International, and me personally, I love these jerseys so much. The mesh with the pink and the black, very similar to how the blue and the black went with the hyperspace jerseys. And despite the fact that they're not very good at football, we all are aware of that. But these jerseys are extremely clean, and the style with the palm trees on them, the little 305 in the front, I think that it fits kind of the vibe of Miami very well, and I'm just a big fan of these jerseys.
Kathleen, give us your final jersey.
Yeah, mine is going to be the Ole Miss red. I think it's just classic. I thought it looked so good with their 50-yard line logo, and I really love that they did the navy blue for the helmet, because I feel like a lot of the times with Ole Miss, you'll see the red paired with like a baby blue, a powdery blue, but I love it with the navy that's kind of more tried and true to the school logo. I thought it looked really nice.
Yeah, from one navy blue to another, I chose navy for my final uniform. I think their Army-Navy game uniforms were absolutely insane. The helmet kind of really tops it off, and the navy blue with everything that they did with this uniform, I think it looks great. What are your final thoughts, and what's your final uniform, Joe?
I already did both my final uniforms. It was Tulane and Virginia Tech, but you can't beat the Army-Navy uniforms every year. They're just always beautiful. Yeah, we picked the same.
You guys are mixing me up with the same uniform.
We just know it. But that's going to do it from here for nighttime. Some great uniforms. Hopefully UCF gets a Sweet Space Game uniform next season. But we will see you next time on nighttime for the season finale.